Guys, what are we talking about? We're gonna look at a couple of these Vosteed knives, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed. These aren't gonna be full reviews. These are gonna be kind of like first impressions. I've had them both in and out of my pocket today. We will work our way towards a full review of them, but yeah, I really like them, especially this Nightshade. I thought I was gonna like it when I saw it in Jared's video, but I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. But you guys know what's going on. We're not going to talk about it too much here. We are going to take a look at it from above and take a good quick look at both of these knives. So turn down the volume. Here comes a little bit of music. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited that Jared sent these knives along. I watched his reviews of both of these knives on his channel, and I was pretty impressed. I was really excited to see this one, the Nightshade. So these are Vosteed knives. This is the Bellamy, and this is the Nightshade. And so we're gonna take a look at each one individually, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, this thing, the action on this is so smooth and so good, and it just hammers open. It just bang. Not these knives. Well, I mean, technically they are. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at these individually. Let's look at the Nightshade first. So this is the Vosteed knives. How do you pronounce it? How's it? Vosteed Nightshade. The Vosteed knives Nightshade. So both of these knives are really well done. I'm not sure where they're getting their OEM done, but this is so good. So this one is in a micarta, looks like a kind of like a canvas, or maybe, you know, just a black linen micarta that has gotten a pretty good polish on it. They have married up these liners really well. The action on it is just amazingly smooth. So I wanted to see this one because this seems so unique. And I thought when I first opened the box, even though I was excited to see it and I put it in hand, I was like, I might not like this. But you get so many options when you're cutting with this. So I actually have been carrying this. I am going to do a first day carry on this video later in the week. I'm going to film it, but I'll put it up later this week or next week. This thing cuts so well, and it's unique because you have different cutting options, because you have this big leaf blade, so you can push cut like that into stuff and it cuts well. But if you're cutting this way, you've got a lot of cutting potential because it just kind of addresses, you can maintain constant contact with that material. Like even if you're cutting down on something, you can come down, and I don't want to cut my mat, but you can actually make contact all the way down. I was doing that when I was doing some cutting with it. But you get this really unique look. There is nothing really here as far as like a marriage point that you can really feel. One side, it might be a little bit more pronounced than the other, but you know, the finish on it is great. So you can see, like, you can feel that because, micarta and copper, you're going to have a little bit of a gap there. But yeah, this thing is great in hand. It's not real heavy. The balance point, because you have that copper bolster, is just enough forward that it's just balanced perfect, in my opinion. I like a little bit of forward weight, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well this cut. Now, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about some of the items on it. That is really deep right there, which typically I like it a little bit scalloped out, but a lot of times this is more along the lines of following that, but one side is lower. That's got kind of a spot in there where it feels a little, I don't know how to, it just feels kind of unusual. I'm not going to say it's bad, but we're going to see over carry. But my biggest thing is it kind of looks unfinished. Like that looks really good from this side, but then this side looks like, I don't know. It just looks like that liner sticks way up, in my opinion. It's an aesthetic thing. It really, in hand, isn't that bad. Jimping on it is a little bit sharp. If you have soft hands, it's going to bother you. If you get up in it, it might be a little bitey for you. But I will say it's just about perfect for getting grip on that. And this thing, oh, sorry about that, guys. Every time that happens, I have to readjust the tripod, try to get things even. Now I forget what I was talking about. But yeah, like I was saying, the action on this thing is just amazing. How well it just flies open. M390 steel on this. I have not looked up price point, but I'm going to say it's probably more along a budget line. But it does have a very unique look. It looks like, I want to say it looks almost like a kukri, but it kind of doesn't. It's got this big blade, leaf-shaped blade that is really common in a lot of like the Filipino style knives, butterfly knives and things like that. Your balisongs a lot of times have this big leaf-shaped blade, but it's got such a dramatic downsweep that it's got some really good cutting potential. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I just can't get past it. The jimping on the spine is really, really good. And then the entire rest of the blade is crowned. Let me see if I can get in on this a little bit. Can you see how well crowned and nicely crowned that is? There's a knife that has a very similar style of blade spine, and I think you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. Let me grab it real quick so we can make a comparison. This knife has a very, very similar type of crowning, and as a matter of fact, if you look down that spine, super similar, and it's executed on this knife. It's executed every bit as well as it's executed on my Chris Reeves Sebenza. That's one of the things that people point out when you look at a Sebenza is that crowned spine, how attractive it is and how well done it is. So I'm really digging this knife. So that's the first one we're going to look at. We're going to go ahead and get out the Bellamy and take a good look at it as well. All right, guys, this is the Bellamy. Now, this one is a lot different. It's a completely different knife, but you can see you got some really attractive scale material. I believe that might be linear carbon fiber. I'm not 100% sure yet. It has got kind of a carbon fiber look to it. This knife is I was not as excited to see it as I was the Nightshade, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm digging this knife. It has got a very not unique, but a very good looking blade shape, nice handle, really comfortable in hand, and it shares a lot of things with a lot of other knives I like. I like this clip point. It is attractive. It's done really well. You have this fuller. You got to be careful with a fuller. If it's not done exactly even, you wind up with kind of an optical illusion where the blade looks like it's off center. Same thing with swedges. If you have a swedge that's not done real cleanly and real evenly, you can get that optical illusion. It makes it look like the blade is misground and things like that. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, the action on this knife, and the same with the other one, it is insanely smooth. The only knives that I've had that the only knife I've had that came in that was as smooth as this recently is that Kubi KU344 that took the smoothest knife in my case. The only thing I don't like about it is it does have this top flipper, and it's not that I don't like the top flipper, front flipper. It's actually kind of cool. I don't mind it. I can actually use it. Problem I have with it is if you happen to be someone that is like a little slow getting your knife deployed, it's gonna, it's gonna come up and that thing comes around, and before you can get your finger off flipper tab, it might bump your finger and then you can't really get it to deploy all the way. There is one thing I have noticed is that there is a little bit of play this way in the pivot when it's in the halfway position. You can kind of hear it. It's not a big deal. I think it's just that the hole in the blade is oversized compared to the actual pivot itself, but when it's locked open, it does not affect. The tension on the lock is definitely preventing it. And I tightened up the pivot a little bit, and it got rid of that rattle that it had when we first did the unboxing. The stop pin in this is just a stop pin that sits in, and it's inside here. Let's see, can you see it? Or is it completely enclosed? It's inside the blade. It's an enclosed stop pin. But at any rate, it doesn't sit in super tight. And so you can hear the stop pin rattle ever so slightly, not a big deal. But like I said, the action on this, just listen to that. Holy cow. That just hammers open. It's a violent action. When you deploy this, and you get, man, it is just a violent action when that thing slams open. I like the open construction on this. It does have a really large lanyard hole. Like I said, guys, I'm not a fan of a lanyard hole. It takes up a lot of real estate on this. Not such a fan of it, but I will say, all in all, it's a really attractive knife. The weight forward on this is pretty much spot on. I like the way that the handles are way lighter than the blade, and so your point of balance, like your center of gravity, is out here somewhere, and so it just kind of feels really good because it lets you know where that blade is all the time. The other thing I really like about it, they did skeletonize the liners and then they completely hid them. I have knives that have like exactly opposite. The Nightshade, that is attractive if it's well done. Sometimes if they are shadow boxed and you can see a little bit of the scale, you know, where the scale is on and then the liners stick out a little bit. I like that as well. But I have to say it presents a very, very clean line when your liners are not visible, only at the lock bar. So the only places you can really see your liners are here, where that standoff pin is, and then right at the lock bar. So really attractive construction on that. Like I said, front flipper, just about the perfect amount of jimping. Gosh darn it. I'm not going to stop it. Just about the right amount of jimping everywhere. It's not hot spotty. It's got a really nice, just like a little corner flipper tab that does not stick way out. It's not, as Nick Shabazz would say, a pocket pecker. But yeah, M390 steel, nice black coating on it. Front flipper, top flipper. I don't mind a front flipper if you're going to give me an option to do it otherwise, either thumb stud or an actual flipper tab. I'm really good with that. We'll see how this carries. These are going to be some of the first knives we do the actual first day in pockets on. I've actually already been carrying the Vosteed, and so this is going to get filmed as a first day and carry, either today or tomorrow, and then be up later in the week. So there you go, guys. These are the Vosteed knives that came in from Jared. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts.
In retrospect, I probably should not have bought a chair that spins to replace the creaky wooden bar stool. Yeah, guys, like I said, I'm digging these knives. The action on these and everything is great. I haven't looked up the specs or anything because I kind of just wanted to put them both in pocket today. So you're getting some pretty good quality on these. Actually kind of impressed. Jared told me I would be. This Bellamy, the action on this Bellamy is just ridiculous. I mean, same on the Nightshade, but at any rate, guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon, and make sure you've got notifications turned on your device so you get notified of everything I do, because basically I'm doing 2 videos a day and a short, except for Saturdays and Sundays. Other ways you can support the channel are down in the description below. You can hit that join tab and get in on exclusive content based on tier. I've got a lot of different stuff going on down there, but everyone gets access to my gilded server, and everyone that's a member saves $5 off my sharpening service. Other ways you can do it, I have a whole laundry list of affiliate links down below where you can get EDC stuff, tools, sharpening gear, and stuff like that I recommend, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. I just get a little bit of it when you check out. And the final way is I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co, where you can purchase some of my merchandise, some of my shirts, and anything you purchase, I can save you 10% at checkout with the code CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. And if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put it in a video. Guys, I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I will see you in the next video.